This is a 1929 Ford Model A. It was the new and improved version of Ford's Model T. It only has 40 horsepower, which can get it up to about 45 miles an hour, but when it does, it makes about as much noise as a fighter jet.
It is.
That it? Really? Every line and angle of it speaks to an entirely different era of cars, driving, and society in general. And there's something mathematical in the precision of it all, which fits right in with my three guests today. They are Dr. Aileen Foeckler, Dr. Greg Townsend, and Dr. Miriam Byers. Aileen is a medical doctor and teaches human anatomy and physiology. Dr. Townsend teaches mathematics and is the Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Byers has a doctorate in mathematics from the prestigious Northwestern University. My guests are always smarter than I am, but this is getting ridiculous. I just hope they don't ask me to show my work on this episode of Professors on Break. You guys, everybody like coffee?
Oh, love it, yes.
Excellent. Is anybody here like a car person?
My husband is. He loves old cars. Old cars of all types. He seems to know the make and model.
Well, then he might like this.
That's older than any he's ridden
Yeah,
in.
that goes back a ways. And it has an actual trunk, which is nice. Well, this should be exciting. We don't have to rely on my driving today either, which is also an advantage.
We have a chauffeur.
So there's a lab at Christendom now. Tell me about the lab.
The lab is shared between physics and anatomy and physiology.
Okay.
So with anatomy and physiology, most of the labs are what we would call a dry lab.
Okay.
Because you've got models that you can take apart and identify different parts and put them back together again.
Okay.
And then we do dissections.
Like the frogs?
Fetal pig, sheep hearts,
Wow.
sheep brains,
Really?
chicken legs.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be the person to take a class like that, but this is a popular class?
Well, the students who take it have really enjoyed it.
Really?
And yeah.
Huh. That's a lot different from the other classes they're taking.
Well, this has to be a transferable level in order to be able to use it as a prerequisite.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There's a lot of material you have to cover.
Oh, wow.
And so we have a similar class, the physics class, which again is a transferable freshman physics, and so they have a lab and they have lectures, so it's a similar level that a student can transfer into a program.
With any natural science, whether it's physics or chemistry or biology, the lab component of it is really essential.
Yeah.
You can't really learn a natural science without actually studying the natural objects.
That makes sense. It'd be like sort of studying math without numbers at a certain point, right?
Right.
Oh, that's Euclidean geometry, isn't it?
Yes, you can actually do that, yes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, if there's something tactile, that would help me. Like I can, I'm good on the shapes, triangle, square. I'm pretty good on that stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably my strength. So when I went to Christendom, I wasn't very good at math. I was a senior. I took Algebra 101, or what was it? What's the class called?
College algebra.
College algebra?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can speak for kids like me that didn't like all the homework we got. Why do I have to show my work? What's the story behind that?
It's not just the what, but the why. If you want to be Aristotelian about it, you have to understand what you're doing, not just be able to get the right answer. When you're in high school and you get really mad at your teacher because you have to show your work step by step and everybody hates it, that's the reason why. Because you have to form that discipline of being able to make a reasoned argument step by step.
Discipline wasn't my strength. And I actually had to do the homework for college algebra, whereas for philosophy, you can sort of fake it.
Yeah, there's a difference between doing the homework and doing the reading for the class, right?
Yes, there can be.
There aren't any Spark Notes for math homework, I don't think.
So those are the smart kids, right? I mean, between among us, right? Those are the smart kids, right?
Just like our classics people.
Oh, it's the same thing? So on science, what's the science course look like at Christendom now? When I went there, being a product of the curriculum then, I really know nothing about science, so What do you teach, and then what should I know that I do not know?
There's a lot that you probably know, you just don't know that you know it.
Okay, well that makes me feel better.
Yeah, there's a good basic science curriculum available at Christendom now.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is bring everyone to an understanding that you shouldn't be afraid of science.
Don't be afraid of science.
Don't be afraid of science.
All right, good tip. So why does it happen that it's basically it's sort of an attack on the church that Catholics don't like science, we deny it, we just don't want to talk about it, but it's kind of the opposite, right?
It is.
We like science.
We do like
as
science.
much as I don't know anything about it. I'm a member of a church who actually appreciates science.
My message to the students is be not afraid. You can do it. It's there. There is a truth. We all know that truth exists.
Truth
right?
exists, incarnation happened,
Exactly.
that I remember. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so I do know more
You
science.
do know more
okay,
science.
good. I feel better now.
And that it is compatible with the faith. Whatever you're going to learn in science is always going to be compatible with if it's put in its right context, it's going to be compatible with the faith. So the church has never feared anything to do with science, and it's always encouraged it. It's just many of the popularizers of science and will use it as a vehicle to attack the faith or attack reason.
So you're
And
just
that's
finding
not
new
changing.
ways to prove things we've believed for quite a long time, basically.
Yeah, or trying to learn as much as we can from the physical perspective.
I gotcha. So you have a lot more certainty in your department than, say, any of the other departments, right? I mean, math is not a matter of faith,
No.
right?
No. True.
So theology there's faith in there, right? Philosophy, there's faith too. So
Well,
is this? Do you get to sit at like the special table of the faculty? How does that all work?
no, we're one.
No,
That's a
usually
pretty big
people
deal.
don't
Like,
like
hey,
to
I'm
sit
more
with
certain
you.
about what I'm teaching. Some kids, I'll just be blunt, they don't want to be in math class. Is that a fair way to say? Okay.
That is fair.
You call on them, they go up to the board to do stuff. I mean, are they trembling? I mean, like I was homeschooled, so I don't know. Like it was frightening enough for me to take math, and I was alone. So, like when you're called up on the board, is that still a thing? You have to go up to the board and you solve?
Yes.
At times.
Why does that
At
sound
times.
terrifying to somebody like me?
People don't like to be wrong. And see, unlike a rhetorical argument, if you get it wrong, everybody knows you got it wrong. So maybe that's what it is that makes people a little nervous.
How's everybody like the coffee?
It's
Great.
nice.
All right,
It's
so we
very
go ahead
good.
and take a drive?
Sure.
All right, sounds good. It's kind of funny when you walk into a restaurant and there's like 2 cameras with you and all that, and people look over and they're like, they must be famous, but I can't place them. Tell us some good math jokes. You got anything?
So this is sort of along the lines of Zeno's paradox.
Okay, Zeno. All right, excellent.
So infinitely many mathematicians walk into a bar.
Okay.
And one of them
I got
says,
the picture.
One of them says, the first one says, I'll have a beer. And then the second one says, I'll have half a beer. And then the third one says, I'll have a quarter of a beer. And the bartender just rolls his eyes and says, oh, and plunks 2 beers on the bar.
I like that.
That is a mathematical joke.
I like that. So for other things, you write a thesis. For math, do you also do a thesis, or is it
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
the written thesis?
Yes.
Okay. Give me like what would be a typical thesis topic for a math?
Well, one of our graduates did it on a very famous theorem called the 4-color theorem.
Okay.
And she was able to bring in some really interesting philosophical perspectives into it as well.
Okay.
They've really been quite a wide variety of thesis topics. We had one this year on the mathematics of the Big Bang.
Oh, really?
We had one on Cantor's view of infinity.
Is there one on music? Mathematical thesis
Yes,
in
yes.
music?
We had
really?
a senior this year
Oh,
do
wow.
one on the mathematics of music.
Oh, that's good. Now, is there any plans for science to be a major at some point? Is that?
I don't know. I just try to
Did Dr.
contribute.
Townsend make the call? Dr. Townsend, we want a science major. Is that going to be a problem?
We are working towards a natural science major.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Probably in a year or 2 we'll develop a natural science major.
So that's the next major on the way, I guess. would be
Yeah, it
science.
would be the last major probably.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's you've completed the liberal arts curriculum at that point, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll see some of my kids in there.
I hope so.
They're all on the way. Well, most of them are on the way, so that's exciting. So what kind of radio do you have in this thing? You got the Bose set up?
Premium, yeah.
Was there radio? So this car is what year?
1929.
Was there radio in 29?
The radio was invented, but they were not in the car.
They were not portable, I guess.
I guess the vinyl record players would have been too large also.
The one driving the golf cart. He thinks he's going to be able to drive something like this soon.
Yeah, there you go. Only if they're physics or math majors.
it's
Right,
That's it.
right.